Warning: this could destroy the corrupt and crooked Big Pharma industry. In the beginning of the year 2000, over a dozen shady executives were caught red-handed trying to bury the solution that could stop the pain of millions. The real and ultimate treatment for inflammation, muscle stiffness, and joint pain. The one thing that was literally able to liberate 54 million people from agony and despair and save the United States and the world billions along the way. Yet even after over 20 years have passed, Big Pharma falsely claims there is no way to fix this terrible life sentence disease. There is no trace of this miracle on any shelf in any pharmacy anywhere in the world. And that's because for these greedy corporations, the costs were just too high. And as they shamelessly and publicly declared, the benefits were non-existent. But not anymore. Because today, for the first time in American history, one man, one brave rogue doctor has decided to spill it all and share the solution that millions have been desperately waiting for. The only real solution for joint pain. So if you're here, stop what you're doing and prepare to have your life changed. Hi, my name is Dr. Ernest Pramza. If you or one of the people you care about suffer from joint pain, muscle stiffness, and mobility-crushing inflammation, and are tired of living your life on the sidelines just because of this terrible disease, then listen closely to this short yet shocking presentation, because you're less than 3 minutes away from discovering the undeniable scientific evidence that it's not only possible to completely clear all the pain in your joints, back, arms, or legs, but in just a few weeks, you can turn back time and regain your old life back. All this without dangerous or addictive medications, without spending a dime on phony chiropractors or physical therapists, without paying a single visit to neurotic doctors that just leave you hopeless every time you step into their office, and with absolutely no surgery. It's all a big fat scam, and they know it. From being too busy prescribing overpriced meds while shamelessly excusing themselves for not being able to help out more, they had this solution all along, and I've got 10 lawyers who can prove it. Yes, joint pain, no matter if it was caused by arthritis, trauma, genetics, overuse, tendon or ligament damage, bursitis, cartilage decay, or anything else. It's finally something you can be escaped from 100%. You see, despite their industry standards, the real reason why you haven't been able to completely rid yourself of this nerve-wracking pain is because the real location where this disease is actually triggered does not start in your joints. Instead, it's all due to a dangerous contamination happening inside a critical area of your body that spills over into your joints and crushes the barrier that has been protecting them from unnecessary pressure and friction, while affecting other parts of your body and causing almost irreversible damage to all your other organs. And the problem is, until now, no one in the Big Pharma industry had the decency or goodwill to really look into this area. So let me ask you this. Do you know why joint pain flares up in the most inconvenient times, even though you know you have done nothing wrong? Or even when you followed every single bit of advice the doctor gave you to the letter? It's somehow like this pain has a mind of its own. The answer may be rather shocking to you, but we'll unveil the real reason why none of the existing so-called solutions on the market are actually able to completely rid yourself of joint pain and inflammation, and it will ultimately give you the key to stopping this debilitating disease in just a matter of weeks. So prepare to stop being pushed away to the back row in your own life just because you can't move as fast or as freely as you used to. To never have to deal with one more second of pain and horror. To never have to plan your day, your week, or even your life based on how much pain you'll be in when you have something important coming up. To be free from all the frustration and anger that have been pounding down on you ever since this nightmare began. And to finally regain your life back and to be the man and woman everyone is expecting you to be. For yourself, for your family, and for all the people you care about. You may be feeling skeptical about this now. I understand. After all, you've heard countless different stories over the years, and were led to think that there is no way to actually stop joint pain and chronic inflammation. Maybe you even gave up at some point. Your doctor was always happy to write you those painkillers with all the best intentions in his heart. even when you came back for more just a couple of months later, because for a reason blatantly ignored by modern medicine in cohort with big pharma corporations, the pain always came back. Sometimes dull, constant, and other times worse. Much worse. Horribly worse. But always there. Always making your life miserable, no matter how many doctors or health experts you saw. But this changes today. And no matter who you are or how much pain you are in, you owe it to yourself to watch every minute of this presentation, because I guarantee it can very well save your life. So listen up, because time is not on our side. The chronic arthritis and joint pain industry is worth $29.1 billion alone, and that number is expected to double over the next several years. These people are perfectly happy to keep you in pain while shattering your mental health just to keep you their customer for life, so they can keep taking your money. So, if you had enough of this agony, this undying aching pain in your back, hips, knees, everywhere, and don't want to have to put up with one more day of it, if you are tired of living with that stiffness and discomfort in your wrists, if you want to stop being mocked by everyone you know or looked at with contempt just because you just can't do things as well as they can, and if you secretly worry that one day it could even get worse, then continue watching this report as I unveil to you a scientifically proven way to completely rid yourself of that terrible joint pain in just a few short weeks from now. Because as amazing as this sounds, in 2021, having to endure one more second of debilitating, suffering pain is 100% optional. Now, of course, I don't want you to simply take my word for it. Listen to some of the success stories that I receive in my inbox every day from the 77,600 women and men from all over the world who have successfully used this program and broke free from joint pain in a matter of weeks.
I got this for myself a few weeks ago, and I wanted to give it a try before I posted my opinion. I can honestly say this is brilliant. I'm 72 years old and suffer from chronic arthritis. I've tried everything, including morphine and whatnot, every drug my doctor would prescribe for me. In fact, surprisingly, it was my doctor who advised me to look into natural medicines. I guess there are some honest people out there too. I can honestly say that after several days, my pain had eased. After a few weeks, my pain was completely gone. I am so happy with the product that I just ordered another batch for my wife as well. Thank you so much.
I had intense pain in my knees and ankles for over 6 months, getting to a point where I actually thought I would rather have my foot cut off than suffer one more day of pain. And I tried everything, including morphine, but nothing else worked. After a few weeks of taking this, my pain eased gradually by 30, 60, 80%, and now it's all gone. I can't believe it. This is the only thing that actually works. Thank you so much.
It's been 15 years since I felt that nagging companion of pain. I had constant pain in all my joints due to arthritis and something called spinal stenosis. I used to take a lot of strong painkillers, which really only made my life miserable. I've tried everything, from CBD oil to even morphine patches, but nothing else did the job. It only took a few days and my pain eased up. I can now live my life like a normal person and enjoy spending time with my family. It works like you said it will, and it's simply amazing. Thank you so much.
Truth is, stories like these are amazing, but they're not unique. Tens of thousands of people from the U.S. and thousands from all over the world are now enjoying a pain-free life together with their families and friends. Every day, my phone gets flooded with phone calls, texts, emails, WhatsApp messages, and they all say the same thing, that this program is guaranteed to work for any woman or man out there. Okay, let's not waste any more time. It's time you broke free from the joint pain nightmare. Like I said, my name is Dr. Ernest Pramza. Up until 4 years ago, I worked for one of the largest pharmaceutical companies around with an annual revenue of over $1 billion. For the past 2 decades, my team and I have been researching ways to increase the effectiveness of pain medications for those with severe cases of chronic arthritis and inflammation. I decided to quit and start my private research lab when I uncovered their evil and shameless practices. They had zero interest in finding a solution. Instead, all they wanted was to keep people addicted to their drugs and expensive medications and to keep their investors happy and profitable. And I should have known better. You see, early in my career, I was part of an elite team of physicians who worked on a drug which was later on released to the world as acetaminophen and is now considered one of the most common treatments against joint pain and inflammation. And yet, as it happened back then, even today with all the major advances in science and technology, they are not interested in finding something that can completely rid you from the debilitating nightmare of joint pain. In my over 20 years of medical experience, I'm specialized in helping American women and men fight this terrible disease and reduce as much as possible the pain caused by chronic arthritis, joint pain, and similar inflammatory conditions. Even so, throughout my scientific career, I only had one dream: to research and develop the ultimate clinically proven solution that would put an end to joint pain and inflammatory disease. But before I go on, you should know that 99% of the doctors consider joint pain something as common as a simple flu. And to some point, they are right. There are 15 million people suffering from joint pain and 54 million people suffering from chronic arthritis. And that is in the US alone. Now, this may seem common as all the doctors you'll go to will tell you, but there is no way it is normal, as you'll see in just a couple minutes. Now, if you suffer from joint pain, you know how vicious and debilitating this condition can be. Besides living almost every minute of your life in a world of suffering, it can flare up on you in the worst times possible. You are forced to push back every activity in your life. You can't move as fast as others, and you live in constant fear that soon it might get even worse. 1 minute the pain is fine, almost bearable, and the next one your life turns into a living nightmare. First, it destroys your ability to work or even concentrate on important matters for more than 2 seconds. Then, slowly it turns you into a burden for your family and loved ones. And finally, when you realize that the pain is not actually going away, dark thoughts start settling. And then, you decide to pay the doctor another visit. So you go there hoping that this time he will give you a cream or a pill or a treatment, something, anything that will make the pain go away. You feel so cursed. And for good reason. Joint pain has ruined many lives so far, bringing people to the brink of a breakdown over and over again. And yet, no one seems to care to find a solution for it. Over 24% of the U.S. population is living with chronic arthritis, joint pain, muscle stiffness, painful inflammation, and no one is doing anything for them. No major breakthrough treatments, no cutting-edge research. It's just not sexy enough. People have gotten so used to the fact that joint pain is supposedly not fixable that even doctors and scientists simply accept the same old pills and creams on the market as treatment. And I'm sure you've already checked everything on the list. Painkillers that only worked for a while, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs or NSAIDs that leave you with even more side effects such as heartburns, stomach pain, and nausea and are very dangerous in the long run. Disease-modifying anti-rheumatic drugs, or DMARDs, for those suffering from chronic arthritis. Now, these DMARDs are the tip of the iceberg, because what they give in return will make any honest man and woman question the manufacturer's sanity. Liver toxicity, renal toxicity, bone marrow depression, lung inflammation, skin disease. These are just a few of the side effects of these drugs. Then there's corticosteroids, and if you're lucky, your pain alleviates for a while. But if you're not, and this happens to a lot of people, you get high blood pressure, memory problems, confusion, weight gain, and even, and this is quite absurd, fluid retention and swelling in your lower legs. So the thing that was supposed to help you in the first place, it pushes you into a world of horrible new problems where you have to buy new medicine to counteract these. And the only one that benefits from it is drug manufacturers. Now, if any of this rings true for you, you should know one thing. It's not your fault. It really isn't. I used to recommend these remedies for joint pain and chronic arthritis. I've been doing this for well over 20 years, and all the people who came to me for help were familiar with these drugs. It's not like people haven't heard of them before, but all it took was one day to change everything I thought was real about joint pain and inflammatory disease. So stick with me for a couple more minutes, because I'll unveil the story of how I accidentally stumbled across what could be considered the most scientific discovery of modern medicine. the true key solution that any woman and man can use to put an end to joint pain once and for all. You see, up to this day, I've had hundreds of women and men walk through my door, and I can honestly tell you that I've seen it all. People so desperate that they would give their entire life savings only to live a life where they don't have to put up with one more day of debilitating pain. People who felt cursed and so ashamed they wouldn't be able to perform even the simplest activities. People who deserved nothing of what was happening to them. And yet, here they were, crying and begging for help. Seeing so many heartbreaking stories, I must admit I felt sorry for all of them. And yet I knew that dealing with joint pain and inflammation is maybe one of the most difficult things in the world. I always thought this was the way things work. The only solution we had was to treat the pain and hope it won't severely impact my beloved patients' lives. After all, if scientists had found a better solution by now, we would know about it already, right? Well, I couldn't be more wrong. Because the day this guy, Clint Orlov, walked into my office, my life changed forever. When I saw him, my heart stopped. It was hands down the worst case of inflammatory joint pain I have ever seen in all my medical career. At first, I thought Clint had suffered a car accident, but he had no visible wounds, no scars, and he confessed the disease started on him all of a sudden, a little over a year earlier. The guy was barely 36 years old. He was crying, he could barely move, and he was in a lot of pain. He said he had visited every single doctor, physical therapist, and health expert he could find, and no one was able to help him. No one was able to tell him why he was suffering so much and why now in the prime of his life. There was no history of inflammatory disease in his family, no history of any chronic disease either. It simply didn't make sense for him. I truly felt sorry for Clint. But then again, I knew this wasn't going to go away by magic. It took me over 2 decades to understand this disease, and I must say, it's one of the trickiest I have ever seen. You see, in joint pain caused by chronic arthritis, the way this inflammatory disease works is chilling. Now, inflammation is an essential process that helps the body respond to and heal an injury, but it also activates nerves and causes something called nociceptive pain, or simply put, pain. This is the normal mechanism that the body uses to process pain day to day. Nociceptive pain, or pain that you feel in your joints, occurs when tiny nerves called nociceptors that run on the surface of organs, muscles, joints, and throughout the body are stimulated. These messages are then carried by nerves to the brain. Your brain translates them into pain. There's a natural process, one that's supposed to warn us something is wrong with our bodies, like an injury. Over time, with these nerves being kept under pressure, they become oversensitive. So no matter how much medicine you take, they will translate any type of constraint upon them as pain. The same happens no matter what was the cause of your joint pain, whether it is because of arthritis, trauma, tendon or ligament damage, bursitis, cartilage decay, or other reasons. Now you can imagine trying to explain this to Clint, to tell him that we may never be able to stop his pain, that he may be condemned to a life of suffering. I stayed late that night, long after Clint left, thinking about his condition and about other people that came to me for help over the years. It kept haunting me. Why for some people the pain is bearable, almost non-existent, and for others is the worst that anyone can ever imagine? Why do some people come back after a month and others almost never visit and actually send me pictures with them and their families on vacation with no pain whatsoever? And more importantly, if science claims there is no active solution for this terrible disease, why have some of my patients been joint pain-free for over a decade? What makes them so different from any other person out there? It just didn't make any sense. There had to be something that was shielding the body against pain, and I had to find out what it was. But life works in mysterious ways, because that very night, I received a text message from one of my oldest friends, and even though I didn't know it at the time, it was going to completely change everything I thought was real about joint pain and inflammation. The call came from Dr. Mihawk. Dr. Mihawk is one of the most brilliant minds I've ever seen, and is also a really kind and empathetic person. We had worked together for over a decade at our former pharma employer, where we researched antiviral medicine, which was later released to help fight chronic arthritis. Just like me, Dr. Mihawk had been in the medical field for over 20 years. He dealt with thousands of extreme cases of ankles, knee pain, and even neck swelling and stiffness. His entire career is purely impeccable, and every new article or study he published was praised by the entire medical community. He is also a very loyal friend, the kind that would jump off of a cliff to save you no matter if you haven't spoken to each other in years. He deeply cared for all his patients, and after such a long time, I was truly glad to hear from him again. He wanted to know if he could help me with my new project, but as we started talking, he put his phone on the table, and I couldn't help noticing the phone's wallpaper picturing him and his wife riding bicycles. You see, besides being a very good physician, Dr. Mihawk had a really sad story to tell. His wife was diagnosed with chronic arthritis early in her young years, and joint pain was one of the horrible side effects of this. It was the reason why he became a doctor in the first place. He hoped he'd find a solution for the disease that was ruining his beloved wife's life. All during those years, every time we met, even though he was one of the most fun people to be around, he always had a trace of sadness in his eyes. But now, he started telling me about his happy family and all the places they traveled to by bike and all the hiking they've done. I mean, on one hand, I was extremely happy to hear about him. On the other hand, I wanted to know how exactly he managed to save his wife from the joint pain nightmare. Now pay attention because here's where things get very interesting. My wife has been joint pain-free for over 9 years, my old friend, Dr. Mihawk said to me. We now have 2 kids that she takes incredible care of, and her lab tests show absolutely no trace of chronic arthritis, no trace of inflammation. And as you probably guess, it didn't just disappear by itself. And that's when Dr. Mihawk said something that had me do mental flips. Ernest, we were 99% right about joint pain. We just missed the 1%, and it was staring us in our faces. The reason why no one was able to figure out how to kill this disease is because they were looking in the wrong place. The place where joint pain starts is not inside your joints. You see, it all starts inside your gut. And then Dr. Mihawk started telling me the latest research he's been focusing on. A 2013 study by a famous rheumatologist at New York University found that patients with joint pain were more likely to have the bacteria Prevotella copri in their intestinal tracts than patients without the disease. So this was interesting. But some of us did look inside the gut to find a fix when we were researching anti-inflammatory drugs, remember? I said to Dr. Mihawk. Sure, 2 of our colleagues were looking into that area. But do you remember what happened to them afterwards? Dr. Mihawk replied. It all came back to me. Not even a week after our colleagues announced they were onto something, a couple of mysterious guys in dark suits came to our lab and started clearing out offices. Then I heard about some lawsuits issued against our company, specifically against a dozen or more executives, which, as our former colleagues claimed, were responsible for suppressing their work, harassing, and threatening them and their families. I figured these lawsuits were something normal in our field of study, but one thing was for sure. I had never heard of our colleagues afterwards. Now, what Dr. Mihawk was telling me was scary, but it made me curious. I wanted to dig deeper. But could this be? I mean, this is the kind of conspiracy people write books about. But then I said to myself, I was standing right there in front of my oldest friend, questioning his findings when I had quit Big Pharma because they were doing the exact same thing to my work. Now, in Dr. Mihawk's own words, the solution to ending joint pain once and for all is found right in your digestive system. You see, there are specific drugs that we all take or are forced to take during our lifetimes. It's not our fault, it just happens. When you have a bad flu, or a severe case of headache, or some other need for antibiotics. Now, it's not widely known, but most of these drugs have the ability to damage the seals on our gut cells and allow certain dangerous chemicals to pass through the gaps and enter into our bloodstream. Emerging studies show that if you ever took a painkiller, you're up to 65% more likely to develop bacteria spillings from your gut inside your bloodstream without even knowing it. Even common NSAIDs like ibuprofen or aspirin create this higher intestinal permeability, leading to toxins spreading into the bloodstream. In one large study published in 2011, the researchers stated that injury of the gut lining by these medications is very common and can lead to serious toxin release into your bloodstream. Now guess where the toxins-filled blood travels? That's right. It goes directly to your joints. Because unlike other structures of your body, the lining of your joints has little ability to protect itself from infection. And moreover, your body's reaction to the infection, including inflammation, will only increase pressure and reduce blood flow within the joint, which also contributes to the damage, creating a stunning environment for the bacteria to settle into and multiply. Can you see the vicious circle, Ernest? Dr. Mihawk asked me. You see, it doesn't matter what caused your joint pain in the first place, be that arthritis, bursitis, injury, or other problems. It's all being kept alive by these toxic bacteria inside your joints. And I'm sorry to say this, but it's not just your joints where the toxins go. They reach every single one of your organs, Dr. Mihawk concluded. Looking over my dear old friend's notes, it blew my mind. We finally knew where to start to be able to fight joint disease. So if we could find a way to stop bacteria spilling from the gut and flush the toxins from the joints, the body would have a fighting chance against this disease. It's like turning off the water tap. Once we find a way to stop bad bacteria spilling into your body, we can win this battle, I said to Dr. Mihawk. Look at me, Ernest. I've saved my wife from this insidious disease almost a decade ago. She hasn't felt any pain in her joints for years now, and even her lab tests show no trace of foreign bacteria in her blood. I did find the way, he replied with a big smile on his face. I was intrigued, and then Dr. Mihawk explained it to me. In order to strengthen your gut's barrier and prevent bacteria and germs from passing from inside the bowel into your bloodstream, all you have to do is safely introduce certain nutrients and minerals to strengthen your body. Once you stop the bacteria source, your body will have the ability to fight off the infection that's already in those joints, and your immune system will support tissue regeneration naturally. And then Dr. Mihawk showed how after 4 long years of research and countless lab tests, he finally managed to find the right combination of natural ingredients that helped his wife break free from the joint pain nightmare. We had to put this to a test immediately, I said to Dr. Mihawk. Why do you think I came to you? He replied. Now, I know just the right person to help us test this. Clint Orlov, the guy who walked into my office with the most severe case of joint pain I've ever seen. When I called him, he was extremely happy to take part in our trial, as he was actually in the middle of another severe pain flare-up. So Dr. Mihawk and I gave him the formula and instructed him to follow the program according to our lab test results. He was both excited and anxious, and in all fairness, he had all right to. He said that for him, a severe flare-up lasts for at least a few days to weeks and does not go away with any medicine he would take. Now I can see the anxiety in his eyes as he was telling me this. He called me every morning to tell me how he was doing. We gave him a special journal to write down step by step how he was feeling. He kept asking me, "So when do you think the pain will go away, doctor?" Anxiously waiting for the results, but I told him to keep his calm. Truth is, this wasn't an easy case, and we all knew it. A few days later, he was close to giving up, saying that his pain is still there and he's desperate. He doesn't know what to do. He can't live like this anymore. I struggled to convince him that he just has to have a little bit of patience. For the next week, I didn't hear from him, and I didn't know if he'd quit the program or just wanted some time alone. I was sad, to be honest. I tried to call him, but he wouldn't pick up the phone. The future looked bleak. But the next morning, I got a video call from him. Sorry for going silent on you, Dr. Pramza, but something truly amazing happened to me. My pain went away. Can you believe that? All my pain went away. I decided to take my wife and kid on an impromptu vacation, something which we haven't enjoyed since this disease started on me. It's all a thing of the past now, doctor. How will I ever be able to repay you? I was shocked. I called Dr. Mihawk to give him the good news. Then once Clint was back from his family holiday, we asked him to take a few blood tests. The result? There was zero trace of this toxic inflammatory bacteria in his system. The inflammation markers were also in normal range and confirmed the way he felt. Zero pain. Every single marker and test we took afterwards looked perfect. He even managed to normalize his blood sugar as well, since he was also a pre-diabetic. That alone was incredible. Even up to this day, he calls us and sends us birthday gift cards to thank us for what we have done for him. Well, we thank you, Clint, for bringing this incredible joy to our lives and helping us pave the way for a solution that could save millions of lives. Now, as I was on the phone with Dr. Mihawk telling him how happy I was that our research had finally paid off, he warned me. The formula did work on Clint, but will it work on anyone? We needed more people to test this on before we could validate its success. So that night, we went online and posted an ad saying we were looking for volunteers. from people with mild pain to people who suffer from severe joint pain, but all had one thing in common. Pain was ruining every aspect of their lives. In a week and a half, we had more than 260 volunteers ready to confirm our theory. Now, I expected this formula to work, but I didn't expect it to be that good. Nevertheless, within just a few weeks, 100% of all participants showed zero trace of inflammation in their joints, and every single one of them had successfully rid themselves of pain. Lab tests showed zero trace of bacteria into their gut, joints, and system. They also reported a significant increase in their energy levels, their overall mood lifted. They were now stress and anxiety-free. And as an unexpected side benefit, they all saw a boost in memory and focus. Now, within a few more weeks, 100% of all participants, even the most skeptical ones to their utter shock, were joint pain-free. Even more lab blood tests that we took showed absolutely no trace of inflammation inside their system. It was clear as daylight that this formula was working. Dr. Mihawk and I were witnessing our lifelong dreams come true. All the suffering from joint pain had ended for those patients. We had to make this available for everyone. So Dr. Mihawk managed to pull some strings, and we found a small independent natural pharmaceutical company close to our area. And we started looking for suppliers that only offer the purest ingredients. I'll tell you, it wasn't easy. It took us weeks until we found reliable sources. You would be shocked if you knew how ignorant most of these people are when it comes to the quality and purity of the raw materials they produce. We looked for ingredients on 3 continents. Dr. Mihawk and I used all our connections to make sure we only get top quality ingredients from certified and FDA-approved producers. The job was excruciating. We worked day and night to make sure each ingredient is mixed in the right quantities. But after over a month of hard work, we finally did it. We created a clinically proven natural formula that targets the root cause of joint pain and stops it once and for all. We called it Flexotone, the only 100% natural blend that targets the real cause of your joint pain and stops the inflammation from ruining your body. We only sourced the purest, highest quality ingredients. The perfect combination of 18 carefully mixed plant extracts and vitamins into an easy-to-swallow capsule you only have to take once a day. Now, you should know that we only produce Flexotone in our FDA-approved facility using the latest technology and equipment. Every capsule of Flexotone is non-GMO and safe. This protocol is very easy to follow and is also diabetic-friendly. It does not require any restrictive diets or starving yourself. In fact, you can continue eating your favorite foods while enjoying the amazing benefits of this formula. Over a dozen independent labs across 2 continents have tested this program on 4,400 people, women and men, from the US and 3 other countries to make sure it works. Lab tests have shown us that in order for this program to be efficient, all the ingredients have to be of the highest quality and mixed only in these exact quantities and in this exact formula. And what we achieved is what most experts would call a medical breakthrough. Here's a short explanation on how these ingredients work and why they are so powerful. Step 1. The powerful nutrient blend repairs your bowels lining. Remember, the root cause of your joint pain is due to bacteria that pass through your gut lining to reach your bloodstream and ultimately your joints, causing you to feel that excruciating pain. Inside Dr. Mihawk's notes, I found that the only way to fix this is to safely add thiamine and riboflavin. A 2019 article published in the Journal of Nutrition and Functional Medicine shows how thiamine deficiency causes gut dysfunctions, including increased intestinal permeability, which leads to bacteria leakage into your bloodstream. Another study published in the National Library of Medicine on thiamine shows how this powerful forgotten natural vitamin plays a major role in regenerating your gut's microbiota. The first thing you notice after these nutrients take into effect is the immediate lowering of the pain and swelling in your joints. And that's because both of these miracle vitamins have powerful properties that mixed together eliminate the source of bacteria leaking, so they stop attacking your joints, which results in pain relief and reduced inflammation. And while there are many types of thiamine and riboflavin out there, only a few specific ones can be readily absorbed by your gut during the digestion process. Step 2. The pain in your joints vanishes. Finally, Once the bacteria are eliminated from the source, your joint tissue starts to heal and repair itself naturally, as well as your cartilage lining starting to rejuvenate. This is due to 3 more star ingredients added. The first one is niacin. Niacin not only eases the symptoms of arthritis, but it improves joint mobility, stops inflammation, and reduces the need for anti-inflammatory drugs. The second one is folate, which promotes healthy cell growth and also acts like a guardian, helping prevent any further inflammation on your joints. And the third one is Euterpe oleracea. A recent study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food, performed on patients diagnosed with arthritis, showed that 98% of participants reported improved joint motion, reduced inflammation, and lower pain perception within 12 weeks, even with only a minimal dosage. Step 3. Your joints become more flexible and rejuvenated. This is where good things start to happen. Vitamin B6, B7, B12, and magnesium act like steroids for your joints and bones. As you get older, loss of bone mass is common. Your bones get thinner. But these 4 ingredients supercharge your bones, strengthen the articular cartilage between them, and allow you to move easily and freely. With every step you make, your joints become more flexible, mobile, and pain-free. It's as if your body is 10 years younger once your entire skeletal system is completely rejuvenated. Step 4. You shield yourself against joint pain and bone disease. Now, the entire purpose of this is not only to set you free from joint pain, but also protect your body against this debilitating disease on a long-term basis, and also shield you against arthritis, osteoporosis, or other bone-related diseases. To achieve that, we added pantothenic acid, an extremely powerful chemical compound essential for healthy bone tissue. Studies have directly linked bone loss to low levels of pantothenic acid. Taken in the right quantities and with the exact combination of nutrients, which are only found in this formula, pantothenic acid will keep you safe against joint degeneration and any future flare-ups that may occur. Then we added L-taurine, which works together with the pantothenic acid to supercharge your tendons, your muscles, and boost your energy levels, and also to keep you safe against other locomotor disorders like back pain, bone fractures, and muscle and ligament strains. Step 5. Your entire health and well-being start to improve. In just a few weeks, you'll be able to move freely. Your body will seem lighter, your joints will be lean and flexible, and you'll be protected against life-altering bone disorders. And because this blend is so powerful, every single cell of your body will start to transform and rejuvenate. Spirulina algae, another miracle plant we used, not only helps you eliminate inflammation and stiffness, but is also an effective antioxidant which promotes cell regeneration in your entire body. Uricoma also boosts your immune system, reduces stress, nourishes your skin, and boosts athletic performance. Ginseng and maca combined help your brain, heart, lungs, and have the magical ability to improve digestion and well-being. And the list goes on for these 18 incredible ingredients, all perfectly combined in the right quantities so that they destroy bacteria and rejuvenate joints in a matter of weeks. Now, what's extremely important about this formula is that it only works in this exact formula and quantities. This perfect blend helps your body absorb all these nutrients from the moment they enter your body. Now, you may have 2 questions at this point. How do I get my hands on Flexotone? And in what quantities should I take this supplement? You see, it's difficult for me to answer the first question. That's because most of the ingredients used to make Flexotone are extremely difficult to source, especially given the current international crisis. This ultimately makes our ability to keep high stocks on hand almost impossible. Every man and woman that has tested Flexotone and broke free from joint pain are asking us for more bottles, for themselves and for their families and friends. This makes our stock run out in days every time we get a new shipment. And you should know that we produce Flexotone in small batches only, which take up to 3 months to deliver, which means that once we run out of stock, you'll have to wait another 3 months until you can get your hands on this formula. But this is necessary so that we can have the ability to use only high-quality ingredients so that Flexotone can work 100% for anyone. Then there's all the angry lawyers from Big Pharma who threaten they'll shut us down if we don't take this formula down. Now, since you're here, your product is reserved. But if you leave this page, unfortunately, we cannot guarantee supply once you come back. Now, before I tell you in what quantities you should take this supplement, here's something very important you should know. In order to make this formula work for you, you have to take into consideration the severity of your pain and how long since it first started. Based on a test we made with our partnering lab on over 4,400 women and men from the US and 3 other countries, looking at the severity of the inflammation in their system, I must confess the results were shockingly bad. So when it comes to how much of Flexotone you should take, our safe response is don't risk it. After seeing the results of over 77,600 women and men from all over the world, we recommend taking at least 3 bottles of Flexotone over a period of 90 days. And if you want to be completely safe, then we recommend taking at least 6 bottles or more over 180 days. This is guaranteed to naturally stop joint pain once and for all. Tens of thousands of women and men have used Flexotone with mind-blowing results. They now enjoy the life that has been given to them. They live a full, happy life where pain simply isn't a part of their vocabulary anymore. They are stress and anxiety-free and love every minute spent with their children and grandchildren. Just hear what others are saying about this solution. Chelsea Edwards, 51-year-old from Osseo, Minnesota, wrote us, "I can honestly say this works like magic. It took just a few days, and the pain in my knees and shoulders was 90% gone. I had a lot of trouble sleeping before I tried this, and even went into a severe depression because of all the pain. For the first time in my life, I slept like a baby once I started using this blend. All those meds and creams my doctor prescribed, everything else I tried failed me, except for this. This works. I need to say this one more time for all the folks out there who are now living in pain and misery. This absolutely works. I'm also getting more bottles for my husband, as this is simply incredible. Oh, and your support has been amazing. Thank you deeply, Ernest." Or Jonathan Flynn, 54-year-old from Clarion, Pennsylvania, who says, "My wife has severe osteoarthritis, and every cream, potion, or medicine we tried failed to ease her pain. Some worked for a short period of time, but nothing for the long term. When I saw your video, Ernest, and I looked over all the amazing ingredients, I knew I had to try this formula. Now my wife is pain-free, and it's just incredible. No more sleepless nights. She can finally enjoy life and spend time with our grandchildren. What's even better, this also worked on her sciatic nerve pain. I definitely recommend this formula." Charles Hill, 49-year-old from Baltimore, Maryland, says, "I don't usually send reviews mainly because most of the stuff that's out there has proved to not work for me, but wow, this is incredible. I've been suffering with incredibly painful knees to the point where I couldn't bend and it was hard to walk at times. They would seize up and keep me awake at night. The pain was literally constant. Just days after I started taking this formula, my pain started to gradually lessen. Last week it was 90% gone, and now it is 100% gone. What an amazing feeling to be pain-free. Thank you so much, Ernest." And these are just a few of the tens of thousands of people who experienced the same incredible results since we made this formula public. Seeing all this, you understand why I wanted to initially sell this program for $297. But while I could have easily done that and had people overwhelm our servers, the truth is, I'm not here to make myself money. I made myself a good amount of money during my 20 years of medical practice. I'm actually close to retiring, early. But there is just one last thing I want to do before that. I want to help you and millions of other men and women out there to break free from pain and misery. That's why I'm not going to ask you for $297 or even $97. For the program that has helped over 77,600 men and women just like you. In fact, today, while this website is still up, you have a one-time chance to get the proven formula that finally ends your joint pain in a matter of weeks for only $69 a bottle and not a penny more. Now, I know how important it is to break free from the pain and nerve-wracking symptoms that come with joint pain. That's why I've asked our manufacturing partner to help us offer a discount on the 6-bottle package of Flexotone. This means that you can get it for only $49 a bottle and also get free shipping from us for as long as the supply lasts. Unfortunately, we can only keep this for as long as we don't run out of stock. Once this happens, the discount will be gone forever. So make sure you select the 6-bottle package or any other package you want and join the 77,600 happy women and men who are now pain-free and enjoy every moment of their lives to the fullest. Yes, 3 bottles of Flexotone will stop the inflammation on cellular level, help you regain your mobility in your knees, hands, and fingers. Also, repair the damage this terrible disease has done to your heart, liver, and eliminate the risk for infections. But there is a reason why 98% of our users choose the 6 bottles package. Once you go with the 6 bottles package, in just 6 months from now, you'll shield yourself against inflammation-causing bacteria. Your joints, muscles, and bones will be strong. Your energy levels will skyrocket, and you'll even improve your memory and focus. Many years from now, you'll remain the same joyful, active person, ready to take on the world even in your late 90s. If all this sounds good to you, then look below now. Once you make your choice, you'll be taken to our secure checkout page. It takes less than a minute to enter your shipping and payment information, and once your order is confirmed, we'll rapidly ship Flexotone straight to your doorstep. And remember, this is a one-time payment. There are no subscriptions or hidden charges. Now, this program is practically guaranteed to rid you of the debilitating joint pain and stop the inflammation from destroying your body. And that may seem a little shocking to you. I understand. After all, the big pharma giants have been sucking cash out of your pockets from the moment you first stepped in your doctor's office. So let me change that now. We stand behind the power of this program. That's why when you select your package today, you're fully covered by our 60-day, no-questions-asked money-back guarantee. Give Flexotone a try. See how incredible it feels to not have to worry about one more second of crippling pain in your joints. No more stiff hands, wrists, and fingers. Feel the joy of knowing that you can finally function like a normal person. Experience all this, and in 60 days, if you're not satisfied with the joy Flexotone brings to your life, send me or Dr. Mihawk an email, and we'll refund your entire investment right away. No questions asked, no hassle, no red tape. You have 2 full months to decide if Flexotone is the right thing for you. But I urge you to hurry. Dr. Mihawk and I have made a lot of enemies by sharing this program. Vicious pharma giants who woke up this morning and noticed their bank account balance was slimmer than yesterday. Snake oil drug manufacturers who don't know what to do with their remaining inventory of cheap knockoff products. Each one of them wants this site off the internet. So the next time my phone rings and some lawyer is there forcing me to take this program down or face an expensive lawsuit, you'll be on your own. But why would you give up on your one real chance you have to finally be free from stiffness and joint pain, when you could join over 77,600 people in just a few weeks from now? When you have so little time to spend and so much to gain, just imagine, no more having to bear your life with pain, no more living on the sidelines, no more horrible pain flare-ups that show up in the worst moments possible, ruining your life and relationships, and no more masking a problem that no longer exists for you. Imagine not having to plan your life based on the level of pain you're currently going through, or having to feel like a burden for your family and friends just because you can't move as fast or do things as fast as they can. Instead, you'll be a free man or woman, ready to enjoy every moment of life that was given to you, just like it was supposed to be, and how it was before this disease pounced on you. And it all starts when you select your package below and hit the buy button now. The decision you're about to make will decide the course of your life. You can decide to stop spending your money on the same old products on the market and wait for a miracle to happen, when you already know that even though they may alleviate symptoms for a while, they do not treat the root cause of your pain. Or you can take this small step now. Select your package, hit the button below, and get control over your life again. You have the power to change your life, and it's one click away, and it costs close to nothing. Even compared to the price you pay every time you visit your doctor, not to mention the damage it has on every aspect of your life, not to mention on your mind and body. Plus, the choice is simple. When you know you're protected by our 60-day, no questions asked money-back guarantee. So go ahead and select your package now, and you can start being the person that you've always wanted to be. It all starts now, with a single click. and it takes less than a minute. Do it now and give Flexotone a test try. Still here? If so, you probably have some more questions about Flexotone, so let me just go ahead and answer them now. Is Flexotone safe? We safely created Flexotone for people of all ages, no matter if you're 20, 30, or 80 years old, and no matter your current health condition. It has no side effects, is 100% natural, non-GMO, doesn't contain any stimulants, and is non-addicting. We produce Flexotone only using high-quality ingredients in an FDA-approved and GMP, Good Manufacturing Practices, certified facility. Through this unique blend of ingredients, Flexotone targets the root cause of your joint pain in a 100% effective way. Now, as always, if you suffer from allergies or other certain medical conditions at this time, we advise that you consult with your doctor first. What if Flexotone doesn't work for me? The more results we see, the more confident we are that Flexotone will work for you. To put your mind at ease, we decided to give a risk-free 60-day money-back guarantee for every bottle of Flexotone you buy. You have 2 full months to enjoy the amazing benefits of this formula. If you decide Flexotone is not for you, you can return what you haven't used in full for an immediate, no questions asked refund. It should come as no surprise if I thought this was not going to work, I would not be offering such a deal. But the tens of thousands of men and women who have tried it are now living proof that Flexotone works for anyone, and it will work for you too. How many bottles of Flexotone should I order? The real benefit of Flexotone will come after several months of this formula working through your body. This is why we recommend the 3 or 6 months packages. Even if you order the 30-day supply only, after a week or two of seeing the incredible results it has, you'll most likely want to order more. But as I mentioned earlier, we are constantly running out of stock, and during this international crisis, it is hard for us to restock as fast as we'd like to. This may be your last chance to take advantage of our super discounted 3 or 6 bottle packages. How do I get Flexotone? It's easy. Choose your package below and fill the information on the next page. Try Flexotone for 2 months, and if you're unhappy with the results, even if you've used up the entire bottle, send me an email and you get every penny back. Go ahead, select below, and secure your order now.